You should not be sleeping on Adamancipators. Hello everybody. Today we're going to be talking about Adamancipators, one of the former top tier decks that apparently has fallen off in terms of usage, but has definitely not fallen off in terms of power. We were playing it on stream. We actually built this deck completely live, and we initially tried 60 cards, but again it just wasn't worth it. So playing at 40 cards, we ended up having a ton more consistency, and honestly, I was very impressed with the deck. We did eventually get promoted through to Platinum with it. Again, we were just sort of messing around, but this deck got a pretty sizable buff in the form of the Life cards. Now, they don't quite work as ideally as I thought they would have. I felt like this guy was able to grab me Block Dragon. Unfortunately, he can't. You're going to see that in the gameplay. But the Life cards basically give this deck even more ability to extend by putting a lot of key cards into the graveyard from your hand, as well as just special summoning a lot of key monsters from the graveyard, being able to put your Adamancipators out with ease, being able to put the likes of your Guacamole Supplier out with ease to get extra searches, extra summons. It's just incredible. So this deck is better than really it's ever been, if I'm being honest. Even in a metagame built for this deck to feel, it will thrive. And we're going to be showing off some highlights, and then we're going to be doing a deck profile at the end. So stick around, watch the gameplay, and then you can see how the deck was built towards the end as well, card for card, just in case you're not familiar with any of the cards you're looking at on screen. So if this is your first time on the channel, or maybe it's not, and you just haven't subscribed yet, I would advise you do so. You know, do me a favor, it helps you out, helps me out, everybody wins. And like the video if you do actually enjoy watching. The likes do help an awful lot, so I would appreciate it if you took 2 seconds out of your time to hit the like button. And yeah, let's get into the gameplay. This isn't like a ranked stream. This isn't like pushing for ranked. But yeah, ideally we would like to not get demoted. Sorry, I was reading that message about Jin and League of Legends. I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've played League of Legends on like the Steam account maybe a couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 times. No, I don't get the reference, no. Unfortunately not. I apologize, my friend. I wish I did. Do I wish I did? This guy's playing a 60 card deck! Grass would have been useless here. It's a good thing we cut it. Dropping the Sulic and the branded opening. This guy's playing branded Tearlament. They can do if you get them. Luckily for you, you're not going to have to sit through those combos because we aren't going to draw them. So, lucky you, I guess. I don't know. We'll be grand. This is actually a decent hand, right? This is a decent enough hand, and we're going to draw maybe a couple of extra cards thanks to Maxi. So, you know, we're fine. Massively obsessed with the number. Oh, because there's 44 cards in the deck. Oh, okay. Right. I would have liked to bring it to 42. I'm actually, like, 99% of my decks are 42 cards, specifically. I don't know why. 42 just feels like the right number. It's one of those, like, superstitions that, like, a player gets as they continue to play the game, where it's just completely nonsensical, but it just feels right. Okay, Lobelion. Okay, they're going for it. So I guess Lobelion, discard, fusion summon again. They pitched the Shiren. I'm semi-tempted to just let this go. Just so we can draw more cards off Maxi. But that's stupid. So we're not going to do that. That would be dumb. So no, we're not doing that. I guess he could still technically do it off of Lobelion. He could still summon Kikalos if he really wanted the combo. Or he might just go into Mirror Jade and cut his losses. Ever made a meme / troll deck? Yep, all the time. We actually, in our Discord, we have a channel called Jank, where we just, you know, throw nonsense in there. But yeah, you can build memes / troll decks all you want, all day long. Go for it. Maybe when I'm in Diamond, I'll start playing them again, which should be later on in the season. Because it's still early doors, we're still sort of messing around a little bit. You know? We're not really pushing ranks as such. But yeah. We got Albion, Labrando Dragon, fusing to into... Man, does this guy really let me draw 3 cards just to summon a Masquerade? Damn, he really let me draw 3 cards just to summon Masquerade. Damn, that's so dumb. Right, we are going to take some heat here. We're going to take some heat. We're probably going to have to cut our combo short just to make sure that we don't die to Masquerade. But, you know, well, if we can go into Dragite early enough in the combo, then it's not going to be that big a deal. Havness making her way out. Gonna get Millen. Mill to Kelbeck. I'm not too annoyed about Kelbeck. Kelbeck's fine, actually. Honestly, Kelbeck's totally fine. I guess we go the Doki. I like the Doki. Let's doke it up. I do like the Doki. Okay, so he's got Kelbeck. Do we negate the Kelbeck? Yeah. Like, I'm just thinking, like, do we even care about that? I mean, we kind of care about it. I would rather him not mill, like, 5-tier cards. So, I mean, I guess. He can resolve the Tragedy. I don't care about Tragedy. He does not have a Shuffler. I don't know what this face down card is, but it's... maybe Tearlament Crime. It might be Crime. I feel like if it was Sullick, he would have used it on Analyzer. We're doing fine, sir. We're just testing out Adamancipators. We're just testing some, like, big meta decks that have fallen off. Just to see, like, why. So we're probably going to get cooked. But why? That's the question. I should have just called the stream Why. Should have been the name of the stream. For sure. Is my music still playing? It is. We do need, at some point, to deal with that Masquerade, right? Like, at some point, we need to deal with that Masquerade. Like, before we get, like, 2 balls deep into our combos. So, So we're gonna activate Doki Doki. Yeah, we're just gonna go in the Dragout now. Honestly, we're just gonna go in the Dragout now. Drop in the Roxy's. We're gonna grab a level 4 from our deck. It's going poorly, really? Man, I've been cooking with Thunder Dragons. At the very big, the first game of the stream was me finishing up a tier limit match with Thunder Dragons. We were absolutely bodying them. Alright, I'm not letting him super poly. I'm not letting him super poly. We could do Baron. We could do Baron. Absolutely could. We absolutely could do that. For sure. If this card's special summon, I get to grab a Kawaka Miru card, right? Yeah. Yeah. Or we could do this one. Yeah, let's do this one. I kind of prefer this guy. I feel like we want to go into Dragout first. Just to see. We'd rather gamble on it. Zombies is gonna suck, right? Okay, I'll say that much. I love zombies, but zombies is gonna suck in this meta. I can guarantee you. Thunder Dragons are dope, though. Thunder Dragons have been working wonders for me. Sending the crystals back. Now we're gonna get Millen. If we hit even at least 1 rock, I'm happy. There's 1. Well, of course we knew 1 because it's on top of the deck. 3, 4. There's no shot. Alright. Bye-bye. 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 You'll love to see it. Yo. That was amazing. God damn. Paid actors. Actual paid actors. Love it. You know what, that makes up for us getting our shit stomped the first couple of games. Oh, this guy's got Max C. That's a little annoying. He's got Max C, right, okay. Right. Zombies work because of Zombie World. That is fair. You know what? That is 100% true. I didn't even... I completely forgot about that even being a factor. Zombie World is actually nutty. For sure. For sure, my friend. No, maybe... You know what? Maybe it is zombies times. You know? Who knows? I certainly don't. I don't know if anyone has noticed so far, but I'm not particularly smart, so maybe it is the time for zombies to rock. No pun intended. Pun slightly intended. It's a little bit intended. Alright, we're gonna go into our Raptite. Raptite will get searching. It's always zombie time. No tuners. No tuners. Unfortunate. That is fine. Because we get to grab our Guardian, which is dope. We can also now go into Gallic Granite to get Searching. Or Dweller. No, Dweller by itself isn't enough. We definitely do Gallic Granite. By itself, Dweller simply is not sufficient to meet our needs. Simply insufficient. Gonna detach from Granite. Alrighty. Send the Xena Guitar. To add from deck to hand. We get to add Seeker. Yeah, Seeker for sure. Seeker is the way. Tournaments? I mean, we could. We could. You just think about, like, I'm just like, we could have grabbed, I guess we could have grabbed Block Dragon, but I don't know. It felt like a huge commitment. Block Dragon may have been better. I don't know. It just felt like it was too much. Yeah, maybe that was a bad play. Yeah, maybe you're right. I had my, and you know what? I think it is. I think I tunnel visioned on the Seeker. I think I tunnel visioned a little bit. That's fine though. It's fine though. It happens. We're gonna go Roxy's. Roxy's is a great hit. Great hit. That's one reason. I wouldn't simplify it down quite that much because it's a really good card, but I mean, that's one of the reasons. For sure. Alright, Roxy's will banish one to draw one. Banish our Guardian to draw one. Furnace Life, interesting. Special summoning out the Dropsies. Now, we do need to be careful of the timer. The timer will be a problem if we are not careful. Using these two, we're going to go into the Cockadoodle-Doo. Using our Dropsies, we get to summon out another Roxy's, gaining 1,000 life points. Good stuff. Oh yeah, we reduced the number of some of the Furnace Lives, but we still play 3 of this one. I think we play like 7 or 8 in total, so we're still playing quite a lot of them. We're still playing quite a lot of them. Yeah, we're not playing, yeah, so Prank Kids is just a little engine in this deck, that's what it is. It basically just gets you a Link 2 onto the field for free, basically, which helps with your Sprite Elf. And decked hand, I guess we want to go this guy. Yeah, because this guy then grabs us Block Dragon instead. So it does. So we get to special summon one of these dudes for free. I kind of want another tuner. I kind of want the tuner, but I don't know if that's a good idea. No, I want a level 4 for Dweller. I think Dweller's going to be dope here. For sure. Let's go into Dweller. Nice, 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 nice. Dweller is sick. Now we can activate this guy. We get the Monster Reborn another card. And we get to pitch a monster from our deck to the graveyard. We get to pitch our Block Dragon. No, we don't get to pitch it? Why not? Why do we not get to pitch it? One earth monster that can be normal summon slash at. What a stupid restriction! What a stupid restriction! I thought this card could send Block Dragon. Why is that so specific? God damn it. Alright, well I might have cucked myself a little bit then. Ah, never mind, we won. Never mind. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really just want to get back to Diamond. It feels a little bit odd, like putting out like a deck profile when I haven't played it in Diamond, because I haven't been there in a couple seasons, just because I've been away. But yeah, it doesn't feel right not being in Diamond. It just doesn't feel right. All right, so Lidoki Doki. Shite. This is the big weakness of. This is the big weakness of Adamancipators. A single imperm. And if you've got a bad hand, you lose. That's so much worse than imperm. That is so much worse. You know what? You know what? So we've got a couple of options. We can either do a little trolling, do a little comboing, or we just sit on Guardian. Good question. We should be able to make Baguska. I would assume so. Yeah, we can, because I can go Analyzer, and then worst case scenario, Seeker plus Doki Doki into Herald, and then Herald and Analyzer is Baguska. So we can do Baguska. And that's like assuming that we don't get any mills, right? Like that's assuming we hit nothing. It's a good thing I had that. God damn, man. Alright, let's round two. Round two, let's see if we can make round two happen. Roxy's. Supplier, nice. Supplier, I'm gonna go with Supplier. I'm gonna go with Supplier here, for sure. For sure. Supplier adding a Guardian. I've already normal summoned, I normal summoned the Doki Doki, right? Yeah. We could do... Yeah, we could do Baguska and Herald, but, I mean, it gets negated. Yeah. If he's playing Shifter, then he's probably playing either Exosisters or Flounderies. Or Thunder Dragons, I suppose, but not a lot of people are playing Thunder Dragons at the minute, so I'm gonna bet that he's not playing that. He's not playing Crystal Beasts, let's be real. Alright, so we got Herald, we got Baguska, we got Imperm. Not a great position, not great, but it's not nothing. Duality, okay. Fluid is. Flounderies it is. Oh, never mind. What the hell? What the hell? This guy's playing like Benkai OTK. Got evenly matched. It's fine, honestly. Honestly, don't even care. That's not even that big because these two cards, they were decoration. Doesn't even matter. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Oh wait, hang on. Can't I just drag out and dunk this guy? I don't have Zeus, and we're not playing Zeus. I wasn't anticipating and relying on my Exceed monsters. I'm pretty sure I just... Oh, I can't special summon. Shizer. What is the play? What is the way? We can't, because the Moon Mirror Shield. Moon Mirror Shield protects it from battle. Yeah. No, it's attack and defense. That's part of the problem, if I'm being honest with you. It's part of the problem. I wish it wasn't just like... I wish it wasn't every single battle. Alright. The plan is... draw infinite impermanence. That's the plan. Brilliant, I know. How did I come up with it? It's insane. Brilliant, I know. That's not infinite impermanence. Okay. We have one chance left. One chance left to draw imperm. We're gonna draw imperm. That's simply what's going to happen. Stick with the plan. Absolutely, don't change. Stick to your guns. Once you have a plan, you stick to it. Yeah, but like we've got 3. Oh, that's not it, imperm. That's not it, Chief. That ain't it. That ain't it. Clock Mirror negate what though is the thing. It only negates monster effects, unfortunately. It's just monsters. If he's stupid enough to activate the Yogun's effect, then, you know, I mean, cool, but he won't. He's not going to do it. But if he does, then... if he does, then... there's no shot. You know what? Alright. This man needs a hug. This man needs he was not hugged as a child. Adamancipator mills and summon it, we get to draw a card. So it's just like a wee +1, plus it's a water monster, which is pretty important for Dragite. Plus, it can also recycle Dragite from your graveyard. If they get rid of your Dragite, you can use the Crystal Engrave to shuffle both back into the deck. So you can recycle your Dragite too. So that's kind of nice. Although I don't like seeing it in my hand every single goddamn game. This is like the same hand. I just had this hand. What do you mean? I think the Analyzer normal summon is stronger than the Roxy's normal summon. Don't you dare maxi me. Don't do it. Oh, okay. I can live with an imperm. Playing against Punk. Oh, Punk's beautiful. I've played Punk on my channel, like actual pure Punk, at least once or twice, and then I've mixed Punk with a bunch of different decks. It's incredible. I've got tons of videos on it. Wait, when you're playing Thunder Dragon, are you not playing Punk Thunder Dragon? Like, what type of Thunder Dragon are you playing? Because I know you said you were struggling with it. When's it? So, right. with the CG Open Invite, distributing prize support has become extremely difficult because of region locks for the original forms of payments. So, what we're thinking about changing it to get actual physical prizes, which should be a ton of fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. We're working on them. But once I have more, I'll get back to you. I can't really say much else for now, but we're working on it. I get you, 100%. I'm with you, and I hate that we're not running it right now. It's such a pain. I really want to be running it, but yeah, it's, you know what I mean? Drawing into the Medora. Archetype only cards. But yeah, we could do that. Yeah, for sure. Just really want to get the we've got tons of plans for the channel coming up really, really soon, and I just really want to get them all in play. Play straight pure TD. Yeah, if you're playing pure Thunder Dragons, you're struggling. Like, they banned Instant Fusion, they banned Union Carrier. Pure Thunder Dragons is struggling with no Union Carrier, for sure. We could do that, but I'm just gonna hit a level 4 off of a Raptide. So yeah, I'm doing this first. Please, please. Yeah, that's perfect. All part of the plan. You, sir, lack testicular fortitude. Gonna drop the Xena Guitar. Then we're gonna grab ourselves, special from deck. Ooh, face up. The Supplier. Supplier, Chain Link 1. Xena Guitar, Chain Link. Should have did those the other way around, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, but whatever. Whatever, dude. Why did I grab that instead of Researcher? I'm so stupid. I'm not even paying attention. Supplier grabs us the Guardian. Now we're going to Gallant Granite. Man, Adamancipator combos take so long. They're not even combos, you're just spitballing with this deck. If you don't have the mental capacity to play a combo deck, then this will actually fry your brain. Like, this deck is insane with the amount of plays it can make. Incredible. Deck to hand, we grab the Block Dragon this time because we're not stupid. Show us the Punk Thunder Dragons. I put up like 3 videos on them in the last week. I play Punk Thunder Dragons all the time. It's so much better. So people are leaving in the comments and chat and things saying they're struggling with Thunder Dragons. People are accusing me of being a liar. I'm trying to sell the deck as being really good, and they're calling me a liar because they're losing with it. I'm like, it's just not the same. Furnace Life of the Flourishing Hills. You need an Adamancipator on board, so I should probably... We should probably drop the Seeker. Sounds like a skill issue. Most people are super nice, right? In comments, reading comments is like my favorite part. Here, it's a different. You're playing a different deck. You're playing pure Thunder Dragons. If I played pure Thunder Dragons, I'd lose too. It's not that strong. Like back when we had Union Carrier. Yeah, absolutely. Union Carrier made that deck good. Union Carrier was amazing. 100%. Don't have Union Carrier anymore. We just don't. We simply don't. Hit Maxi, my guy. Branded Thunder Dragons, yeah, they're... the lock was busted, for sure. Branded Thunder Dragons are decent, I just don't think they're nearly as good. Do we think this guy's playing tier? I think Maguska's the safer option either way. Because, like, Yeah, because Abyss Dweller does nothing against Exo or Flu. So Baguska at least does something against both of those decks. Running Pure, yeah. Oh, it takes a lot of practice, my guy. 100%. I'm not throwing like shade at anyone, but you know. Yeah, loss of Union Carrier was huge. Huge, huge, huge. Ooh. Alright. You've got my attention. Let's see how you like Maxi. Little punk bitch. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, my turn. But, yeah, Thunder Dragons are dope. I have put up so many videos of them recently. I have already made another one. I have already made another one. And I just haven't posted it yet. Like... Okay. So what do we do from here? Did he, like, Maxime or anything? No, he didn't. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have went through quite a lot of decks in my time, and I just have landed on one that I can't seem to get rid of. Took long enough. I guess we're gonna pitch probably Medora to the grave here. Nothing else really strikes me fancy, if I'm being honest with you. You gotta hit that accent. We could do Xeno Guitar. Xeno Guitar is also decent. But probably Medora. What do we have in grave? We've got Seeker in grave. We're gonna revive Seeker now. Okay, no, I think Medora's probably right. Yeah, Medora's fine. Punk is it pricey? It's got 1 UR. The only UR is Deer Note. And then the rest is just SRs. It's a lot of SRs, I'll grant you that much. It's a lot of SRs. But there's only 1 UR. Okay, so we get... Okay, so I guess we summon this little level 2 dork. Alright, bring this guy out. Cool. So, Seeker, Cart, we got Researcher as well. I'm gonna summon the Researcher before we do anything else. I don't really know what we're doing here. Bringing out the Researcher. Oh, what is that? What the hell is that? What, are you gonna shut down my Researcher? God damn. Gonna steal my Researcher. That was rude. That was freaking rude. Alright. I see how it is. Whatever. I guess we want to go Elf on the shelf. Yeah, let's go Elf. Let's get a little bit of Elfage going on. Let's get some Elfage. It's fine though, like, because we're gonna take out the Researcher. Oh wait, it's got 2100 defense. Who gave this thing 2100 defense? I just realized. When did that happen? God damn. Wait, why can't I use Sprite Elf's effect? Huh? Why can't I use Sprite Elf's effect? What? Alright, whatever. Whatever, Dan. Darklaw is the GOAT. Absolutely. Darklaw, if you can play Darklaw, you should play Darklaw. That's how I look at it. If you can, you should. Because it's as easy as that. So after, yeah, I think after this game, we're going to pick up Dragon Link. And again, I haven't got the deck built, so we're going to build it together. It'll be a team building exercise. Do we have any level 2s worth summoning? Not really. Lone Fire Blossom is a bit of a pain in my ass. Hopefully the Medora is helpful here. He really needs to go, he's really going for these seeds, right? He's really going for these seeds. So I'm hoping that as soon as he puts a bunch of them in the graveyard, that if I shuffle them all back, that he can't, like, continue his plays. Because I'm pretty sure he needs to, like, loop and reborn a bunch of times. Okay, that's fine. The trees are going to be annoying. The trees are going to be annoying. Shuffle. Yeah, it is. It seems like it would be. I'm just waiting until the right time. You know what I mean? It's got Borea. Borea is le problème. Borea is a problem. So he grabs the... Yep, sends itself. Grabs the field spell. Field spell is gonna grab him. Yeah, this is not great. Things are going well. We're playing some Adamancipators, as you can probably tell. Yes, one of the main antagonists of Season 1. That's where it comes from. One of the main antagonists of Season 1. Okay, we're gonna... How to out-sick again Punisher? You don't. That's why I play it. I literally, in the last 3 or 4 streams we've done, or just any time recently, like, I can't think in my head of a single time that I have summoned the Psych Again Punisher and lost. I just can't. It's busted. It's so strong. The only real out is you need to crash a smaller monster into it so that your life points become lower than your opponent's life points, and then you can beat it by card effect. So that's like the only out. But if your opponent's playing it smart, it's tough. If your opponent's playing it smart, it's tough. TD Crow! God damn! We got crowed! Why didn't he DD Crow at the beginning of the turn to get rid of Medora? What the hell kind of logic was that? Oh, I should have... Oh wait, no I did. Wait, where's the Borea? What? Oh, I shuffled the Borea back, didn't I? God, I'm so smart. Plasma can easily deal with Psychic and Punisher. It can. Plasma deals with it. Sun Vein Sowing. Bringing out the twin. Yeah, you just, if you can, you can just crash something small into it, make it affected, and then Plasma is in Destiny Hero Plasma. Okay, Sun Vein Healer. Something tells me this boy's better go nuts. This boy's better go nuts, and there's naught I can do about it. There is absolutely naught I can do about it. That's a good idea. I always forget Sucker has that effect. No, Psychic and Punisher is unaffected by activated effects. Plasma's Negate is not an activated effect. So it just becomes vulnerable like any other monster, then you suck it up. Give it the big old suck. We got the Con. Tributing the Baguska. Alright. I have a feeling that I might be cooked. I have a feeling that I might be cooked. Yeah, literally, like, I always forget that Vampire Sucker has that effect. I remember it was actually on a stream. It was either on a stream or in a video where I just randomly noticed it and then used it to win a game. It's actually pretty cool. It is a really cool effect. Like, it turns any of your high level monsters into a kaiju, which is insane. Love it. Am I really gonna hang around for this, dude? Like, is there any conceivable way in which we win this game? I doubt it. Yeah. This deck's pretty nuts. It's actually tier 3 at the minute. I actually think Rika is tier 3 at the minute. Like, they are doing well. Oh, they were, until they just got knocked off the list. God damn. But they were until like a couple days ago, I guess. But yeah, Rika is solid as hell. Rika is dope. You know what? I'm gonna give them the W here. They beat my ass, and it's just as simple as that. Alrighty, getting into the deck profile then. So, I mean, based off that gameplay, you can see a lot of the deck's strengths, as well as some of its weaknesses. We don't want to show off only wins or anything like that. We don't want this to be biased. But it definitely has a number of strengths, but also a number of shortcomings. So the primary strength of the deck is that you're able to basically spam out a ton of monsters, like it's no tomorrow, right? Like, it's no problem at all to just spam the board out full of monsters. Using things like your Roxys, your Researcher, and your Seeker. Analyzer is able to just spam out all of these other generic, powerfully rock monsters, and that allows you to just extend for days, right? The thing about this deck is it almost always has play, so long as it doesn't get, like, horribly interrupted. So we're gonna talk more about that in just a moment, but first we're just gonna go through the deck card for card, just so you get an idea of what we're actually playing here. Starting off with DD Crow, triple DD Crow, pretty straightforward. Really good card against Tier, which is of course one of the biggest decks right now. It also helps you preemptively snipe Graveyard Shufflers, so being able to hit Keldo or a Mudora before they become a problem is also very helpful if you happen to open it up, or maybe if you're going second or whatever it is. So DD Crow definitely pretty helpful in that regard. Then you got Double Maxi. We were playing 3 and then we knocked it down. Double Maxi is more than good enough. Really powerful generic hand trap. You can bump it up if you want to, but the deck is already a little bit bigger than I would like. Same story here, Doki Doki. This is actually one of your best starter cards. Now we were playing 2 copies of it because we felt that normal summon Doki Doki it gets way too easily interrupted, so we would rather just hit it off of one of our Adamancipators instead. You could absolutely play 3 of this card if you really wanted to, if you wanted to cut something somewhere else. I don't really want to go above 45 cards because it's already a big enough deck as it is, but you totally could, right? People play this at 60, so you could definitely go a couple more cards in the main deck if you wanted. But Doki Doki is really solid. Basically, you can discard a rock monster to special summon a rock monster from the deck that is the same attribute and level as the one you discarded, which means that you can turn any level 4, for example, any of your level 4s into an Analyzer. You can turn any of your level 2s into a Seeker or a Researcher. So being able to do that is incredible. Of course, you can also summon out the likes of Roxys if you have already used something like an Analyzer, and Roxys of course being really powerful as well. So there's a ton of options and versatility there for sure. Doki Doki definitely one of the better starter cards. Dropsies, he is here for just part of your prank hit combo. So you would have seen the prank hit combo in the gameplay a good bit. It is something that we use quite regularly. Basically, the idea is that you basically end up in the same place you started, right? So you start off with 1 Roxys, and at the end of it, you have a Roxys plus a Link 2 on your board, the Doodle-Doo, right? So it's mainly there just to sort of claim and go into things. It also guarantees that you have a water monster in your graveyard with the Dropsy. So you need a water engrave for Dragite's negate effect to be live. So that's why that's important. But yeah, basically it's just here for the prank hit combo and the guarantee you have a water engrave from doing so. You saw it in the gameplay, so you know it is what it is. We've got Seeker and Researcher, 2 very similar cards. We're going to talk about them together. We're going to lump in the Analyzer here, why not? So the 3 main Adamancipator cards. They all have one effect in common. You can check the top 5 cards of your deck. You can choose any non-tuner, level 4 or lower non-tuner rock monster among them, and special summon it to your field. They all have that effect. which is an amazing effect, right? That's why we're playing so many rock monsters, and why you can maybe get away with playing even more. But that effect is brutal. They also all have another effect that allows them to be more easily summoned. So Seeker can special summon itself to the field if you control another Adamancipator. Researcher can special summon itself to the field if you control any other rock monster, making Researcher definitely the most versatile out of the three. And lastly, we've got Analyzer, which has a Saber Dragon-esque effect where you could special summon it only if your opponent controls a monster and you don't. So typically that effect only really comes in when you're going second. But either way, all three of them are phenomenal. Of course, Analyzer being a level 4, the other two being level 2s. That's where the main difference is. So Analyzer is more readily available to go into things like Dragite, whereas Researcher and Seeker will typically go into something like your Raptite initially, before eventually scaling up. But they're all really, really powerful cards, for sure. That special summon effect, its importance can't be overstated. We've got Card Gem, the Hidden Gem of the Seafront. So this card, it didn't really come up during the gameplay. It is a water monster, which is somewhat useful as well for Dragite. Basically, you can discard it to get an additional normal summon during your turn, and if at any point you control both an earth and water monster, you can special summon it to the field. Now, you will at some point have that if you're doing the Prank Kid combo, because you're going to have your Roxy's. You're going to link Roxy's off in the Bow Wow. That's an earth. Roxy's effect is going to activate to summon your Dropsies directly from the deck. So that's your earth and that's your water. So card then at that stage will be able to special summon itself. Other than that, of course, you're going to be having something like your Dragite on board, which is a water, and you've got a whole ton of earth monsters. So you will be able to summon it quite consistently using that effect. So it is a decent extender. It being a level 2 is also quite handy on occasion as well. It lets you helps you go into things like Sprite Elf. So there are quite a few useful things about this card, but I don't think it's useful enough to justify more than one copy. You can, of course, play it as a free. A lot of people do. It is very, very good, but we just don't. Getting into our first Vernuslife card, Vernuslife of the Misting Seedlings, right? So I'm going to talk about the Vernuslife cards as a group here, because all three of them, so we're playing 3 different Vernuslives. They all have basically the same effect with a small change. So all 3, you discard this card and another monster in your hand to then basically do something. So the thing that is different between the 3 of them is what they do there, and then at the end of the effect you get to special summon a earth monster from your graveyard. So Vernuslife and the Misting Seedlings will discard itself on a monster to add a Vernuslife, it adds an Earth Fairy monster from your deck to your hand, and then you special summon something from your graveyard. So you discard 2, grab an Earth Fairy from deck, then special summon 1 from grave. Okay, so it replaces itself in terms of card advantage, net 0, perfect. And you get a monster on board, and you get a search. So it's pretty awesome. As well as that, being able to put additional cards like Block Dragon, like your other fairies potentially, like your Raptite, like things like that into the graveyard is also very, very helpful. We've got Vernuslife of the Flourishing Hills, which will discard itself and another monster. You get to add another Vernuslife monster from your deck to your hand, and then special summon an Earth monster from your graveyard. Pretty solid. So basically it replaces itself in the hand, special summons a monster. There you go, net 0, as well as being an extender. This guy's level 4 as well, which makes it arguably more useful than, of course, than this guy. It being a level 3 isn't particularly useful in this deck, but the level 4 for sure is a lot more valuable. And lastly, we have the single copy of Vernuslife of the Awakening Forest. So you discard this guy and another monster, you send an Earth monster that can be normal summoned or set from your deck to the graveyard, then you revive something that isn't the monster that you milled. So it's important to know that. So initially I thought this card could mill Block Dragon, but it has that little restriction where it says it has to be able to be normal summoned or set, which is such a stupid restriction, and I'm pretty sure it is exclusively there for Block Dragon, and we talk about that in the gameplay, you've already heard that. But again, this card, it's still pretty nutty, being able to put a lot of these other really powerful cards in your graveyard, so you know what, I can live with it. It's fine at 1 copy, because it can be searched off of the Flourishing Hills or the Misting Seedlings, so you only need the 1. It's less value than the other 2. Alright, picking up where we left off is Here, Kawakai Miru Guardian. It's a nice monster to get, so it is. So if you have a pretty decent hand where you've got like a researcher and a seeker and a guardian, opening up your turn with a guardian basically makes it so that your opponent can't hit you with Max C, can't hit you with Ash Blossom when you're Adamancipators, things like that. It's also quite a decent hit off of an Adamancipator effect. And to summon it out, basically this card contributes itself to negate the activation of a monster effect and destroy the card, which is pretty solid. The card can also be searched off a supplier, which we're going to get to in a minute, so playing 2 copies of it is fine. You ideally, if you have a pretty stacked hand, it's a decent normal summon, so you can stack all your Adamancipators onto the field after it and protect them from the likes of a Maxi or Ash Blossom. And it's also a decent level 4 hit off of an Adamancipator's mill effect. Speaking of decent hit off of the mill effect, Roxy's is probably the best possible hit off of the effect, because this guy is pretty nuts. So the Prank Kid combo is decent in this deck, of course, because it enables things like Sprite Elf to be summoned on a really consistent basis while not eating up a ton of your resources. You basically normal summon Roxy's, and you can turn a single Roxy's into your Sprite Elf while stacking your graveyard with extra cards. But Roxy's basically, you link this off in the Bow Wow. Roxy's then activates its effect to banish a card in your hand and then draw a new one. So you mulligan a card, which is also pretty useful sometimes. Then you will special summon Dropsies from the deck. You link off Bow Wow and Dropsies into Doodle Doo, and that triggers Dropsies effects. You gain 1,000 life points, and you special summon another Roxy's from the deck. So you end up with the same rock monster on the board, as well as now a Link 2, which is eligible as material for Sprite Elf, and a Dropsies in your graveyard, satisfying the water monster condition for Dragite. So that's the idea behind Roxy's. We've got the Adamancipator Crystal Dragite. This card, if you special summon it off of one of your Adamancipator mill effects, you can draw a card. It is a water monster, it is a level 4, it is here to enable your Dragite to be more consistent. If it's in your graveyard, you can also target a water synchro monster you control or that's in your grave, return it to the extra deck, and then place this card on top of the deck. So another pretty useful thing about this is it recycles your Dragite. So yeah, I think at least one of this, you don't have to play this card. There's enough good hits in the deck where you can drop it, plus we opened up with this card way too often in my opinion. In theory, it's a solid card to hit off of your Adamancipators, and it's a nice one to maybe have in your graveyard, but we opened up with it way too often, so I would probably consider dropping this card, if I'm being honest. Then we got the Kawakai Miru Supplier. Kawakai Miru Supplier basically on special summon will search your deck for the Guardian, plus it being a level 4 is pretty damn solid. It can special summon it to the field if any face-up rock monster you control is sent to the graveyard as well. So it's a free, it can summon itself from the hand. So even if you're not hitting it off of one of your Adamancipator mills, it's still a decent starter because it special summons itself. And if you haven't used your normal summon, it searches the Guardian, and then you can just normal summon the Guardian and get gaming from there, right? You can start going nuts. So Supplier, definite free of, absolutely. We've got the Rock Band Xenocatar, just a one-of. If it's sent to the graveyard, target a rock in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and place one card on top of the deck. Now that, of course, synergizes really well with your Adamancipators, considering, again, they will check the top cards of your deck to summon a rock monster among them. So if you add back an Adamancipator and then stack a rock monster on top of your deck, typically you can summon that rock monster through the effect of your Adamancipators. So Xenocatar does help set up your Adamancipators an awful lot. If this card is banished or sent from the field, or banished from the field or graveyard, send a rock monster from your deck to the grave. So if it ends up getting banished, you can mill like a block dragon, you can mill something useful basically to your graveyard, which is pretty handy. And lastly, we of course have the Ishizu Shufflers, earth monsters that will counter tier. Really nice ones to have in the graveyard, work alongside the Vernus Lives. You don't need these cards in here. They were probably better in the 60 card version, so you can probably cut these guys if you really wanted to. I know the deck is a bit big, so you could really sort of reduce these guys down. I would, however, play at least one of each. Purely, right, I would play it one of each probably, because they work alongside your Awakening of the Forest, they work alongside your Flourishing Hills and your Misting Seedlings. So I think one of each is fine, but you probably want to cut down on those so that you're more consistently hitting rock monsters off the top of your deck. Not that we had like a massive problem with that, right? We were hitting rock monsters left, right, and center. There was a couple of times where we didn't hit one. But to make your Adamancipators more consistent, you probably want to drop these guys down to one of each. But you can play them, you can max them out as well. It depends on how much you hit tier limits, right? If you really hit tier limits, max them out. If you're not that big on them, bring it down. It's up to you. And the last monster we're playing, of course, is the Block Dragon, the single best card in the deck that I don't think made a single appearance in the video. Which is wild. It could have made an appearance. At one point, we should have searched for this card, but we didn't search for it. I think we still won the game anyway, so it didn't matter. But Block Dragon is pretty damn nuts. Of course, it can be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by banishing 3 Earth monsters from your hand or grave. That's not once per turn, that's not limited in any way. It can continually revive itself, which is the nuts part. Any other rock monsters in general you control cannot be destroyed by anything except battle, so no card effect destruction for your rock monsters, which is pretty damn cool. If this card's sent from the field to the graveyard, and this is the part that's absurd, right? This is the part that is actually criminal. You can add up to 3 rock monsters from your deck to your hand whose total levels equal 8. Which is insane, right? Because that means you can grab your Researcher, your Seeker, and any other like level 4, like a Supplier, like an Analyzer, like a Guardian, whatever. It searches for 3 cards, and then it can resurrect itself again. Block Dragon is insane. This card needs banned. Even though Adamancipators like aren't that big right now, this card should not be legal. No, unfair. Not okay. Then, of course, just generic, sort of finishing it off. Cult by the Grave, 2 of, just helps with the Max C, helps with the Ash Blossoms. And lastly, Infinite Impermanence, because fuck tier limits, right? Getting into the extra deck now, we've got Herald of the Arclight, pretty decent card to have. Again, you're playing your level 2 non-tuners and your level 2 tuners, so having an extra wee negate or floodgate you can use against the likes of tier limits, of course, is very, very useful. So, you know, why not? You've got Adamancipator, Ryzen, Raptite. So this guy is a very similar effect to your other Adamancipators in that you check the top 5 cards of your deck, but this one you just special summon a rock monster among them in defense. So it's not limited by tuner or non-tuner, meaning you can summon your Researcher, Seeker, or Analyzer if you hit it off of Raptite. And it's not limited by level, although the only non-level 4 or lower we're playing is Block Dragon, which can't be summoned off its effect anyway, so I guess the level doesn't really matter. But basically it's just an extender more so than anything else. Your second effect, you're not going to use it. I mean, the second effect is honestly, it's not that bad. The second effect was pretty decent against the likes of tier limits. So basically you just banish a monster in your banish a card in your opponent's graveyard as a quick play effect, which is actually pretty damn good. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's just the issue is how do you consistently put a wind monster into your graveyard, right? So if you have like a wind monster that you would like us to play or that you would want to play, getting that effect of Raptite to be live isn't that bad of an idea. We didn't worry too much about it because typically you use Raptite's effect, summon a rock monster, and then you use Raptite as material for something else, like a Dragite or a Baron. So it's not all that important, but it's not a bad idea either. Speaking of wind, we have the Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. This card, of course, one of the monsters you can summon using your Raptite or your Herald as material. It needs a non-tuner Synchro monster as its secondary material, so you'll probably end up using one of these two. Not probably, you will. Basically, it's just a built-in once per turn monster negate, which is pretty dope. He also has the ability where if he battles a level 5 or higher monster, he gains attack equal to the current attack of your opponent's monster. So he's sort of like Avramax in that regard, where if he battles something, he gains its attack points as long as it's level 5 or higher. Which sounds, of course, better, but it sounds really good because, you know, level 5 or higher, those are the stronger monsters. The only thing is, of course, that doesn't apply to links, that doesn't apply to ranks. So it's not like universally like an Avramax. I still think Avramax is probably better in that regard, but having the built-in monster negate, of course, is also pretty damn good. He also gains the attack points, so whenever it negates a monster, it destroys the monster, and then it gains attack points equal to the original attack of the monster it destroyed. So it boosts itself up pretty damn big, and having that negate on board, of course, is very useful. Speaking of negate, we got Dragite. Dragite, basically, so long as you have a water monster in your graveyard, has a once per turn spell or trap card negate, which is awesome. Another effect, you probably saw this, I think, in the first game that we did, where similar effect to the other Adamancipators. Check the top 5 cards of your deck, except this time you're going to count the number of rock monsters among them, and you get to return cards your opponent controls to the hand up to the number of cards. That's incredible. You saw game 1, we cleared out 4 monsters, an entire board of monsters using Dragite's effect, and then they instantly scoop. This effect is disgusting. Love this card. We've got the Chaos Ruler. Of course, you know, you like having cards in your graveyard, and it's easy enough to summon. It's not the worst thing in the world. You can't really use its recursion effect. Like, this card isn't like super mandatory like it is in a lot of the other decks that we play. You can probably cut this, to be honest with you. It just sort of depends on what your situation is with your graveyard, whether or not you go into it. But if you have another extra deck monster you really want to play, I would suggest cutting this, honestly. Like, if you really wanted to play the likes of an Avramax over a Chaos Ruler, you wouldn't be wrong. I would not say that that's a bad idea at all. The mill 5 off of this card is decent, but the only real card you're going to add to your hand off of its effect is DD Crow, which is a nice card, don't get me wrong. But there's not like a ton of value in milling in this deck, right? Hopefully you hit a Block Dragon. Hopefully if you're playing like more Ishizu cards, you can hit those. But like if you're already cutting down your Ishizu cards, there's not a ton of value in the Chaos Ruler. So if you are going to play it like this, you probably do want to replace it with something like an Avramax. Also, let's fix this travesty. That's right, we were playing the old art for Unicorn. Let's get this in here. Moving on, we have our level 10s, of course. We have Baron de Fleur and Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying. Baron de Fleur being a generic once per turn Omni Negate, with, not once per turn, once while face up Omni Negate. Pretty damn easy to summon. And then you've got Cheng Ying, which is a bit more of a game ender, for sure. We didn't use Cheng Ying a lot. I'm not even sure if we used Baron de Fleur, to be honest with you. Both of which are very, very powerful cards, though. So Cheng Ying basically gains 100 attack and defense for every banished card, and he reduces all of your opponents by 100 attack and defense for the same thing, for the number of banished cards. It can protect itself from destruction from card effects simply by banishing any monster in your graveyard, and should any monster be banished once per turn, you get to banish an opponent's card, one on their field and one on their graveyard. So this card's pretty good. It doesn't really play that well in the tier, I'll be honest. You'd think it would with the whole banishment effects, but it's not very proactive, so all they need to do is like spin it off of like a Rhinoheart. So it doesn't really play that well in the tier, unless you yourself can like trigger its effect somehow. So that's fine. Normally you're going to summon Baron though. You've got Abyss Dweller. You can spam out level 4s like it's nobody's business, so you might as well play Abyss Dweller in this deck. For sure. Lock your opponent out of using their graveyard for an entire turn. Baguska, just in case you need to stall. Again, if you're playing into like a Maxi or something like that, sometimes it's better just to take the safe route, go in the AoE Baguska, buy yourself a turn. Flips, changes all monsters on the field to defense, and any monster in defense that activates its effects are negated. So Baguska, definitely a decent way of playing it safe into the likes of a Maxi. Gallant Granite basically can search your deck for any rock monster. Typically you want to be searching for a Block Dragon. You can of course search for anything else. I think in one of the games we grab a Researcher or a Seeker instead of a Block Dragon, which is probably not a smart play at the time, but we still ended up winning that game, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, fact check that for me. But yeah, Gallant Granite for sure, definitely. I would honestly be tempted to play this at 2, but I haven't needed to. But Gallant Granite is dope. We of course have our 2 Prankids for the Prankid combo. That's it. They're just here for that combo. Their effects are useless. We've got IP Masquerena, a card that we didn't use as much as we probably should have. IP Masquerena, basically quick play Link Summon during your opponent's turn, and whatever monster that you summon that uses this card as material cannot be destroyed by card effects. You're going to use that in a twofold fashion. Either to go into your Nightmare Unicorn using any monster on your field, which isn't a bad idea considering you know the likes of Block Dragon. Typically though, you're more likely to do that on your turn, and then utilize the effect of Sprite Elf to revive IP Masquerena to then go into your Avramax on your opponent's turn. So Unicorn on summon, spin a card on your opponent's field back into the deck at the cost of discarding a card. Avramax, we already briefly talked about this. So long as this guy's on the field, your opponent cannot target anyone but him for attacks, and if he does battle something that was special summoned, he gains their attack points until the end of the battle, which makes him virtually indestructible by battle, and he's literally indestructible by card effects, so long as you use IP Masquerena, as well as being untargetable. So this guy is pretty much the face of a boss monster, right? This guy is incredible. He's very, very difficult to remove and plays very well into the likes of tier limits. They have a really hard time getting rid of this card. So for sure, I would definitely recommend playing this over the Chaos Ruler. I think this card has a lot more value and gives a lot more value to your Masquerena. Speaking of Sprite Elf, this is probably the card you'll be combining it for the Avramax. This card, once per turn, first of all, actually I should mention, anything it points to in its arrows can't be targeted, which is a really good effect. It means that your, for example, a Dragout or a Crystal Wing that this card points to suddenly becomes a much bigger threat because it's got negates, they've got huge attack points, and now they can't be targeted. So this card becomes a bit of a problem whenever you're bundling it up with some of your more powerful synchro monsters. Also, once per turn, as a quick effect, so during your turn and your opponent's turn, you get to special summon level 2 monsters from your graveyard, which means recycling your Researcher, recycling your Seeker, which are the primary targets. You of course have Doki Doki and Cart, both of which are also phenomenal level 2s. All of these monsters, all of your level 2s, are phenomenal. It can also resurrect the likes of a Masquerena as well, which of course is very, very solid because that means it's setting up your Avramax for the following turn. So absolutely, Sprite Elf is amazing. And that covers the full deck. So this version of it is probably going to be how you want to play it. There might be small adjustments here and there you might want to make, but this is, by and large, how you're going to be playing Adamancipators into this meta. So if you got this far into the video, if you enjoyed the deck profile, again, like I said, please do drop a like on it because it does help more than you know, more than I probably know. We're just trying to get by here. So I really would appreciate any bit of support, and if you haven't subscribed, it's free, my guy. Do me a favor, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.